안녕하세요. 보보의 리딩 노트의 보보입니다. 오늘도 영어 뉴스 영어로만 듣고 이해하기를 가지고 왔어요. 오늘 가지고 온 영어 기사는 한국의 공격적이고 신속한 COVID-19 대응이 미국의 모델이 되고 있다 라는 두 가지 기사를 조금씩 떼어서 가지고 왔거든요. 함께 읽어보고 우리나라의 어떤 대응 방식이 해외에서 호평을 받고 있고 그리고 자신의 나라에 적용되도록 이렇게 쓰여지고 있는지에 대해서 알아보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 시작해 볼게요. South Korea is doing 15,000 coronavirus tests a day versus the US is struggling for even a small fraction of that. So this is comparing, these two sentences are comparing South Korea and the US. South Korea is doing this many coronavirus tests a day, but the US is not dealing with even a small fraction of that. Let's dig into it. 15,000 coronavirus tests a day. Seoul, it was 2 a.m. 2 a.m. it's 새벽, not the nighttime. It was 2 a.m. when Mr. Kim called South Korea's coronavirus hotline. It's 1339, right? If you think that you have some symptoms, you can call 1339 in Korea. He had a fever, like hot temperature in his body. He felt some hot temperature in his body, maybe through his forehead. So he had a fever after returning from Malaysia. The hotline advice, he called there, talked on the phone, and the hotline guy or a woman or a doctor, maybe somebody, expert, advised him to get a test. So the hotline advice was, get tested. So hours later, maybe in the morning, early in the morning, the 35-year-old Mr. Kim was at a nearby drive-through test site. I think this is really creative. A medic could be a doctor. A medic also could be a medical student. A medic in a hazmat suit. Hazmat suit is those clothes right there. Doctors and nurses and experts are wearing them, like face masks and protective gears there. They're wearing helmets kind of thing. A medic in a hazmat suit. Stuck means it's the past tense of stick. Stick means poke something into your skin or into a hole. So a medic, let's say it's a doctor in a hazmat suit stuck a swab on a long stick into his nose to take a sample. The whole procedure, every procedure process took 2 minutes, only 2 minutes. It's very fast. The next morning, March 7th, he got a text message from the testing center. The results were negative. That means he doesn't have a coronavirus in his body. He tested negative. That means he hasn't been infected by the coronavirus. Kim is one of more than 240,000 people who have been tested for the coronavirus in South Korea, or about one test per every 250 people. One person out of 200 people. Do you know how to say it in Korea? 250명 중에 1명. So among the highest testing rates in the world. This page tells you how fast the process is in Korea and how many tests have been done in Korea. Next page. More than 15,000 tests have been administered. Administered means performed, means done. More than 15,000 tests have been done by doctors and nurses and health experts each day over the past few weeks since a sudden spike in infections in the southern city of Daegu in late February. All of a sudden, from the 31st patient, it started to increase really suddenly, right? From drive-through kiosks to hospitals to local clinics. Kiosks means a little booth kind of thing, like 부스, 전화기 부스 or 매점 부스, like booth. From the drive-through kiosks to hospitals to local clinics, hundreds of test sites are available across the country. Available means usable, ready to be used for people, or accessible. So hundreds of test sites means the places, hundreds of test sites are accessible or ready to be used across the country, and the tests are largely free. For the elderly or for the old people or those too ill to step out of their house, too weak, so if it's hard for them to get out of their house by themselves, medics visit their homes to take swabs for testing. The words are pretty tricky, but this is pretty easy for you, right? Because this is what happened in Korea. South Korea's testing blitz have emerged. South Korea's testing, the blitz means a sudden attack or sudden rush, sudden action kind of thing. You know, when there's a war, soldiers try to make a plan to attack the opponents, like really suddenly or really quickly. That's a blitz. So South Korea's testing blitz, sudden attack, a sudden rush of testing a lot of people has emerged, has shown up, has started as one of the models for rapid and comprehensive responses as some other countries. Comprehensive means covering all the area, covering all the part. Responses as some other countries, including the United States, lag well behind means United States is trying to catch up, but they're lag behind. Okay, we just finished the first article, and it was all about how fast the tests were done in Korea and how effectively the tests were done in Korea. The second article is about why South Korea, not Iran, is a model for US coronavirus response. So in this article, it will be comparing South Korea's case and Iran's case, and you're going to see how effectively South Korea handled the situation. There were some mistakes, but there were some problems, but I think that's very minor, but because this is a new normal, new situation we haven't experienced before. Okay, let's see. Why South Korea, not Iran, is a model for US coronavirus response. To stop or to spread? That's the question. You know Shakespeare, to be or not to be, that's the question. Let's see. To stop it or to spread it? Not intended, that's the question. A stark contrast. A stark means very sudden. We saw a graph before, right? In the previous video, I show you how to flatten the curve, and the blue graph, do you remember? Really high and like a big, very high mountain. A stark means the top is very, very high. Contrast means telling the difference. Okay, I'll give you an example of two countries. Country A, country B. They have the same population, maybe 1 million people live there in country A and in country B. I'm comparing right now. If I'm contrasting, I should tell you the differences between these two countries. Okay, in A country, only 5 people, 5 people have died of coronavirus. Okay, in the country B, 5,000 people have died. That is such a big contrast, right? And this kind of number thing is called mortality rates. Like how many people have died, that's the mortality rates. A stark contrast in the coronavirus mortality rates in South Korea and Iran show how critical, how important a government's response can be in deciding what to do, whether the disease is stymied or spread. Stymied is getting something slowed down or spread. So stymied and spread, that's the opposite word. Public health experts, these experts are the US experts. Public health experts say they want to be sure that the US outcome, the US results, turns out more like the formal. You know what formal means? The previous one. 전에 거. Like there are two. The US outcome turns out more like the formal means, is it Korea or is it Iran? Of course, it's South Korea, the formal one. So somebody says, this is one of the experts there. Will we take the tough actions to mitigate spread? Mitigate means make it less and less severe, make it weaker and weaker. This is the South Korea's case. Will we take the tough actions like Korea to mitigate spread, or will we let this spread like the flu? So will we let the coronavirus spread like the flu everywhere, like Iran? I think we will be somewhere in between, not helpless like Iran. Helpless means no help. Nobody can help because the person doesn't have any will to do something. So helpless, like, I can't do anything. Like, not helpless like Iran, but not as aggressive and swift as South Korea. Aggressive means moving very fast at a war, like attacking somebody very fast and quickly and competitively because they want to win. So not as aggressive, and swift means fast as South Korea. This page is about what South Korea have been done to mitigate the effect of coronavirus. So they did 3 things. The first thing is South Korea is doing more tests per person than any other country in the world, with about 15,000 people getting tested every day. South Korean officials have particularly targeted the northern city of Daegu, where spreading infections within a large church congregation, like a group, made it the center of the outbreak. And they have made aggressive efforts to inform the public about how to react, and where the infection is spreading. Think about ourselves. We always get phone alarms and alerts like where the positive people are living or where they have visited so far and how many infected people we have in Korea. Like we always get alarms. That's what South Korea has done so far. A different story in Iran, but the story in Iran is totally different right now from Korea. Iranian officials said little in public about the virus. Little doesn't mean little. This little means almost nothing. So Iranian officials said almost nothing in public about the virus. They don't share information. Maybe they just don't know for sure. The government didn't even talk about the disease's arrival in the country until February 19th, when officials said 2 people had already died. So when they announced that 2 people had already died, the disease was everywhere already. Yeah. The country's health ministry claims that about 10,000 have been infected and 429 have died. But mass means a lot of number, like a big number. Graves is a place where dead people are buried. You know what that is then, right? Graves means underground. Dead people go there. But But mass graves could mean Iran has suffered more death than its government has told to people. It's really different from Korea and Iran right here, right? So this is why the US government is trying to get a lesson from South Korea. I hope they're getting better and better and they're testing more and more people there because it is such a big country there, right? Yes. Anyway, thank you for watching and thank you for listening. 좋아요 그리고 구독도 꼭꼭 눌러주세요.